Echo, Pixel and H, the extraordinary witch. H was a girl that lived in a magnificent forest surrounded by nature. She whistled with the morning birds and danced in the falling leaves of autumn time. However, H was no ordinary girl. She was a witch, and not just any witch. H was a little white witch with endless magic right in the tip of her fingers. She used her powers for good, saving animals from danger and even healing people. But surely she couldn't do it without her two trusty sidekicks. Echo and Pixel, you have to hurry, you two. A little deer got his antlers stuck in the tree. He needs us now. H shouted out to her two dogs, who joined her on every mission, big or small.
Echo, you always make us late. Do you have any sense of time? Let's move it,
Pixel said to his four-legged brother. Echo was busy giving Papa, H's granddad, kisses while he worked on building wooden toys in his workshop, and it seemed to always make them late.
All right, Echo. I've got to finish up these toys for this month's donation to the village orphanage. The children will love them. Plus, you've got to get a move on it, just like Pixel said.
Papa giggled and gave him a tickle behind the ear.
All right, I'm coming,
shouted Echo, giving Grandad one last happy lick on the cheek. H climbed on top of her broomstick, and Echo and Pixel hopped in their basket attached right to the front. H and Pixel turned to Echo, whose pet lizard sat happily on top of his head, and waited for his special take-off chant. He shouted with joy.
With magic and a bright broomstick glow, we're here to make the world a better place, and off we go!
And in the blink of an eye, they headed off into the sky to help an animal in need. As the wind blew through their ears in the basket, their green emerald collars sparkled in the sun.
There's the deer. His antlers are tangled up,
Pixel shouted as he pointed below.
Good eyes,
H shouted, and she steered the flying broom right to the deer below. He frantically pulled, trying to escape. H could see that he was tired and afraid, tangled up in that tree. The moment the deer looked into H's eyes, he relaxed as he felt her healing energy. The feeling of compassion from Echo and Pixel's shimmering emeralds surrounded the young deer, and he knew with all his heart that he was safe. H lifted her fingers, and, in an instant, the vines untangled from the deer's antlers, and suddenly he was free. He dashed along his way and looked back at them as if to thank them.
Another day saving the marvellous creatures of our planet,
said Pixel with a happy smile. When they arrived back at their cottage, they were shocked to see Papa so upset as he sat on the floor of his workshop.
Papa, what's wrong?
H asked.
I went to deliver more toys to the village orphanage just to find that all of their toys from the year were stolen. All of the time I've spent this year building their special toys, and someone stole all of their joy, he replied with sadness. H knew exactly who the thief was. In fact, it wasn't one thief, but two. The two dark witches were sisters, and it wasn't their first attempt at trying to steal the light and joy from the village. Don't worry, Papa. We are going to fix this.
We can, and we will, she said. H, Pixel, Echo, and his lizard rushed back to the broomstick. They all said together,
With magic and a bright broomstick glow, we're here to make the world a better place. And off we go!
And they were off to the nearby village. As they flew past the orphanage, children cried sad tears, and H felt it right in her heart. She looked up at the dark witch's tower where they cackled with evil joy right in their window.
"Oh, looky here. It's the little witch of the forest, here to save the day."
One dark witch laughed when she saw H and her sidekicks had flown into their tower window.
"And look, she brought her useless furry freaks along with her," said the other.
Pixel growled ferociously. They looked around at the room full of special wooden toys that Papa created for the kids.
"Why did you steal these toys?"
H asked, and once again the dark witches laughed an evil, cackling laugh.
"We didn't have the pleasure of toys as children, and now we have them all,"
said one dark witch.
"If we couldn't have toys as children, then neither can all of the rest of them," said the other.
Suddenly H lifted her magical fingers, and the hundreds of wooden toys began to circle all around the room. Pixel and Echo's emerald of compassion began to light up.
"How are you doing this? What's going on?"
asked the witches as they watched the toys spin all around them. H stepped closer and looked at them with her magical healing eyes.
"I am sorry that you didn't get to have toys as children. It wasn't your fault," she said.
And suddenly their faces began to look softer and a little less evil. H lifted her fingers again and sent the wooden toys flying through the window down through the orphanage doors below.
"Have a look,"
she said to the dark witches. They walked to the window and could see the orphans reunited with their toys. The witches heard the magical laughter of the kids playing with their toys. They saw their celebrations and dances of joy that they had never paid attention to before. As they watched the children play, they both suddenly had a small smile on their faces. As they continued to watch, H said,
"Do you know what feels better than having a room full of stolen toys? Giving joy and love to others."
As the two dark witches continued to watch, they felt in their hearts that H, the little witch from the forest, was oh so right. The dark witches were so used to taking from others that until that moment they had no idea how good it felt to give instead. H, Pixel and Echo watched the witches as their hearts began to turn from darkness to light, and knew that their mission was complete. They headed back to their cottage to tell Papa the good news. His faith and the orphanage's toys were both restored. From that day forward, the witches would occasionally stop brewing their potion up in their tower to listen to the laughter of the orphans below. It somehow kept the light flickering brightly within their hearts. The witches learned something oh so special that day. They learned that helping others is the true key to the happiness they always looked for in taking from others. And as for H, Echo and Pixel, well, they already knew that good always wins against bad.